that you are going to get so much from the event. So just be very patient and pay attention to details even as the program goes on and as the lectures will kickstart almost immediately after this opening ceremony. So I want to appreciate CSIS for also turning up, for this event. We thank you so much. Thank you to everyone and welcome to this program. Thank you.
Once again, a round of applause for the HOD for that beautiful presentation. The next item online is welcome address by the Dean, Professor Adebi. You are welcome. A round of applause.
My VC, sir, you are most welcome. We appreciate your presence this morning and the support that I've been given so far. I want to welcome everyone that has been seated, and by the grace of God, this artificial intelligence innovation workshop, we impart our students. And as a matter of fact, in the world we are in today, the place of artificial intelligence, is very key because we are talking about developing intelligent systems. If you, there was a time I was outside the country, and I needed to deposit money. I don't need to go to the bank, just the ATM, put my money, and it's already credited to my account. And all of that is driven by intelligent systems. And we are in the era in which, all manner of intelligent systems that you don't need to be there. The systems, is, developed, programmed, and things just working. So this workshop, I think, is tailored towards that. Artificial intelligence is how to build intelligent systems that can drive all aspects of whatsoever, in agriculture, in enterprise, in business organization, and so on. So I want to encourage our students to take advantage of this workshop and to leverage on it for future, development. We want, particularly, this university is driving agrarian revolution. We want to see at the end of this workshop what kind of systems that can be developed, to assist, in the agricultural, sectors. So I believe there are so many, systems that can be developed, to support agricultural productivity. So please pay attention. The resource personnel, they are, some of them are available, and I believe, and these are tested hands that we impart us. So please pay attention to the classes and ask questions. And at the end of the day, please be looking at areas in which we can apply whatever knowledge that you have gained, to agriculture, how to develop intelligent systems. That's the essence of it at the end of the day, because we are in the era in which artificial intelligence will be ruling the world. We talk of robotics, we talk about drones. Those are intelligent, machine or devices. I believe you will have seen all manner of drones that will go to your house, deliver something and so on. So these are things that is powered by artificial intelligence, technology. So that will be showcased to you, and at the end of the day, please let's leverage on it and look towards agrarian, aspect, so that we can be, it can enhance the investor at the end of the day. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. I'm coming back to take this because an error was made and it cannot be swept under the carpet. I mentioned all, I followed a particular protocol, the other way around, and then I skipped a particular one, which, you know, if not for him this morning, this program will not hold. So it is going out to the world and it has to be mentioned. I have to revisit it. I apologize, sir. My vice chancellor, I did not, acknowledge his presence. And, he made this event possible. This morning, you can see students have been seated here and all of that. He had to take me to an event where we had to, take the people that are really necessary to be here, and they are right here. So if I skipped that, I have to revisit it. I'm so sorry, sir. Please accept my apology. I welcome you to this program, and I appreciate all you do. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your contributions and the approval. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, the HOD. Please, the Vice Chancellor, sir, kindly permit me to welcome Director D. Liquid to the podium. Round of applause.
Thank you, sir, the Master of Events. Well, I want to, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor, mention that the apology is accepted. And let me also put it in the right context. So I'll start by appreciating the Vice Chancellor, Landmark University, Professor Adeniyi Olayanju, whom God has been using to pilot the affairs of this university. The registrar, ably represented by Mr. Samdari, you are welcome. The Dean, College of Pure and Applied Sciences, the directors herein present, our director, Center for Learning Resources, the professors in the house, not forgetting Professor Ebekunle, the head of department of computer who is hosting this program, members of faculty of the Department of Computer Science, members of faculty herein present from other departments. I also want to appreciate staff here seated, as well as the students, the kings and queens. I count it a very great privilege for all of us to be seated there this hour, because talking about data science and artificial intelligence is something that is very necessary for our learning culture as a university and for us as students. Because there is this saying that you learn, you unlearn, and you relearn, so that you will be able to move forward with the affairs of life. And I want to also mention that success, which you as a king and as a queen will meet eventually when you become a pathfinder, which you meet up with, can only come when you are prepared, okay? Because success will come only when opportunity comes to the prepared one. And I want to believe that this is one of the areas whereby you are going to get yourself prepared. On that note, I want to welcome you once again, and I say that enjoy your good and interesting workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Director Liquid. It is my honor this morning to welcome my amiable registrar, Ms. Hunke Oyinloye, ably represented by the Assistant Registrar, Mr. Oluwadare Samuel. You are welcome, sir.
Samuel Dari is the name. The Vice Chancellor, sir. Permit me to stand on the protocol already rolled out by the Director of Lucre. Vice Chancellor, sir, this morning I observed something while you walked in. You walked in and members of management and then the deans and the HODs, they rose to their feet. But I observed that the student body in-house this morning remains seated. So, for propriety and for posterity, please note We are looking at it as if you did not know, but now you have been told. Whenever you are in a program like this and the vice chancellor walked in, you rise. Everybody in-house rise. Is that understood? I want to hear a response. Is that understood? Now, Vice Chancellor, sir, back to my assignment. Well, it's an honor for me to be on this platform this morning to represent my registrar who is not able to make this program, of course, because of the exigencies of duty. AI, much has been said about AI. I'm not a scientist, but going by what I could tease out from what the HOD and the Dean have said this morning, I know that AI has come to stay with us, whether we like it or not. It permeates everything we do. It is everywhere we turn. So any nation, any institution, what it sought, will definitely embrace it. So it is on that note that I want to appreciate the effort of the Department of Computer Science, led by, or shall I say, the College of Pure and Applied Sciences, for this organizing this event this morning. And then, of course, specifically appreciating the HOD Computer Science for bringing this on board. I also know that my registrar, if I know her mind very well, Vice Chancellor, sir, may want to make a comment in the direction that such a thing, I'm an administrator, all right? You are doing this for the student, fantastic. Will there be a time when such a thing will be organized for administrators also? Inculcation of AI into administrative settings is also very, very, very vital. So we will appreciate such an initiative from the Department of Computer Science. And this morning also, having said that, I have the singular honor to bring somebody on board. Since I'm in a computer science setting, let me use the word simulation. I want to simulate my registrar as I invite the Vice Chancellor this morning to this podium. Is somebody that God has committed the leadership of this university to his hands. Somebody who has been put in place to drive the vision of Landmark University to fruition. And whether you will like it or not, the fruits are evident around us. Shall we rise to our feet this morning with a clapping ovation as I invite to the podium, to the microphone, the Vice Chancellor of Landmark University, Professor Adeniyi Olayanju. Vice Chancellor, sir.
Thank you, the Registrar Landmark University, ably represented by Mr. Sam Dari. You may please be seated. I'm excited this morning, and I want to thank the head of department for that special appreciation. The truth of the matter is I couldn't have done less because the vision of Landmark University is consuming me. I've been on this ground for the past 4 years, and this is the 5th year. And if by now we are not getting it right, I'm not too sure one can get it. And so anything we have done to get this program done, it's really worth it. The theme of the training is invasion of artificial intelligence, the effect on the advancement of agriculture. Of course, you and I know that Landmark University is the first and only private university of agriculture in Nigeria. And so this is in the right thinking. It has a place in the landmark strategic goals. It has a place in the sustainable goals of the United Nations. Next slide, please. Protocol. The Registrar Landmark University, the Dean, College of Pure and Applied Sciences, Deans of other colleges and Director of Center, I especially recognize the Director of Landmark University, Center for Research, Innovation, and Discovery. The Coordinator, International Office of Linkage, of course, our faculty, staff, and kings and queens of Landmark University, the Landmark University community at large, our online participants from all walks of life. Agriculture is the bedrock of sustainability of any economy. It plays a key part in long-term economic growth and structural transformation, though may vary by countries. Having mentioned SDG 9, and coincidentally, this training has a key role to play in LSD 9. And we have the chairman of that team here, Professor Ibikunle. Can you stand up for recognition? We appreciate you. He's the immediate past chairman of Nigeria Society of Engineers. And in the past 2 or 3 weeks, 2 or 3 months now, he's been taking us a series on artificial intelligence. So I cannot but recognize him. In the past, agricultural activities were limited to food and crop production. That's what we know agri for, food and crop production. However, in the last 2 decades, it has evolved to processing, production, marketing, and distribution of crops and livestock products. Currently, agricultural activities serve as the basic source of livelihood, improving GDP, being a source of national trade, reducing unemployment, providing raw materials for production in other industries, and overall develop the economy. With the global geometric population rise, it becomes therefore imperative that agricultural practices are reviewed with the aim of providing innovative approaches to sustaining and improving agricultural activities. Therefore, the introduction of artificial intelligence to agriculture will be enabled by other technological advances, including big data analytics, robotics, the Internet of Things, the availability of cheap sensors and camera, drone technology like the day mentioned, and even wide-scale internet coverage on geographically dispersed fields. By analyzing soil management data sources such as temperature, weather, soil analysis, moisture, and historic crop performance, AI system will be able to provide predictive insight into which crop to plant in a given year and when the optimal date to show an harvest are in specific area, thus improving crop yields and decrease the use of water, fertilizers, and pesticides. Through the application of AI technologies, the impact on natural ecosystem can be reduced and worker safety may increase. Therefore, the application of artificial intelligence has been evident in the agricultural sector recently. The sector faces numerous challenges in order to maximize its use, including improper soil treatment, disease and pest infestation, big data requirements, low input, and knowledge gap between farmers and technology. The main concept of artificial intelligence in agriculture is its flexibility, high performance, accuracy, and cost effectiveness. This training, therefore, will help our understanding of the application of AI in soil management, crop management, weed management, and disease management. A special focus I want to appeal, especially to our facilitators, should be laid on the strength and limitation of the application and the way in utilizing expert system for higher productivity. Landmark University, therefore, appreciate the privilege of hosting this Data Science Nigeria training, which is free. I want to appreciate you for that. Can you give it to them? The vision of the university, as we know, is to be a leading world-class university, irrespective of location, as the world has become a global village, and smart technologies are banned in large proportion for everyone who dare to exploit them. The knowledge of smart technologies can contribute immensely to driving quality research output of the university. And this is one of the benefits that the DSN training program presents to our participants. It is on this note that I declare this program open on behalf of our Chancellor, Dr. David Olaniyi Oyedepo. As I urge the participants, especially our kings and queens of Landmark, to make utmost use of the training to advance themselves and, of course, the university. Once again, I thank you. I thank the Data Science Nigeria and the Department of Computer Science, the Directorate of Blueprint, and that of International Office of Linkages and Partnership. Even as I beckon on you to say, come down with us. Honestly, we are ready to do you good, for the Lord has spoken concerning Landmark. Thank you all, and God bless.
Praise the Lord. A round of applause once again for my Vice Chancellor for that beautiful presentation. The next item online is the introduction of DSN facilitator, why I call on Dr. Moses. Please, a round of applause. Let us appreciate him as he comes on podium.
The Vice Chancellor, sir, the Registrar, the Dean, CPAS, Head of Computer Science, the Directorate, and the professors that are here, and staff and students. I want to thank the Almighty God for giving me this privilege to introduce our facilitator for this program from Data Science Nigeria. We were given 3 facilitators for this program, and the first, who is the team leader, is Oluwaseyi Gbadamosi. There. He's a team player with strong communication skills. He has experience with machine learning, data science projects, and chatbot. He has exceptional programming skills with Python, and is a graduate of information and computer science from the University of Ilorin. The other 2 facilitators I'm going to introduce are on their way. They will be here very soon. Mandek Peter Boat is a highly motivated web developer and data scientist. He holds a bachelor's degree in psychology from the University of Jos, and is a Bertelsmann Technology Scholarship holder. So when he will join us very soon. And the third person is Orok Gospel Theodore, AI specialist and big data enthusiast with excellent reputation for solving data-related problems. He's a graduate of chemical through petrochemical engineer from Akwa Ibom University, and then is a certified data science Nigeria AI innovation tutor. So all of them, we're going to benefit from them when they come. So it's a great privilege for me to invite Oluwaseyi Gbadamosi to come on for his presentation. You're welcome.
Good morning, everybody. And I recognize the presence of the Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, the Dean, the Directorate, staff, and I want to say the AI champions, because that's what we call them at DSN. And greetings from DSN, AI champions. So how am I going to get this slide? Okay. Now, I was tasked with lecture with AI innovation, the effects on the advancement of agriculture. We all know that AI cuts across every domain, every industry, be it telecoms, be it health, and also cuts across food, and that's agriculture. And that's agriculture. And so as an agrarian university, we'll be talking on how AI affects agriculture. And please, can you go to the outline? Okay, so the first thing we'll be first talking about is introduction. Then we'll go about the myths about artificial intelligence, which there's really a lot of myths, a lot of misconception about artificial intelligence, and we'll be clearing that today. And we'll also talk about types of artificial intelligence and how artificial intelligence is used in agriculture. And we'll talk about use cases of artificial intelligence in agriculture. And we all know that anything that has an advantage always has a disadvantage. So we'll also talk about the limitations of artificial intelligence in agriculture and conclusion. Well, and we'll also run a demo developing a tomato maturity classification model here. So I know we will be talking, so we can all see for ourselves how this is done. So the next slide. Now, everyone has been talking about artificial intelligence. It's just the major buzzword now. Artificial intelligence can do this, artificial intelligence can do that. Yes, it can do it. But artificial intelligence is undoubtedly the hottest buzzword today, and for all good reasons. Over the past decades, AI actually become a factor of production with the potential to increase new source of growth and change the way work is done across all industries. And also, the function and popularity of artificial intelligence are soaring day by day. AI has significantly evolved over the past few years and has found its application in almost every industry. Artificial intelligence has been existing even before I was giving birth to. It's just the recent years whereby the big guns, we call them in industry, that's FANG, that's Facebook, Google, Netflix, they've invested heavily in artificial intelligence, whereby they've democratized artificial intelligence that nearly everybody uses one artificial intelligence in one way or the other, where you can just say, Siri, what's the time? Siri, what's this? Siri, what's that? Or Cortana, what's this and what's that? So we are all using AI one way or the other. And artificial intelligence is one of humanity's most sophisticated and amazing creation to date. We all know that is true. And AI models are trained using vast volume of data and can make intelligence decision. We, we will consider how AI is used in different domains. So we know that AI, this next time. Okay, that's one. Okay. So let me just continue. Artificial intelligence. No, now what is artificial intelligence? So just defining it for you. Artificial intelligence is the machine displayed intelligence that stimulates the behavior of thinking and can be trained to solve specific problems. And also, we also talk about machine learning. Without artificial intelligence, there cannot be machine learning because artificial intelligence is a big umbrella whereby we have machine learning and deep learning and other subsets of AI. And machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that involves the study and the use of algorithms and statistical model for computer systems to perform specific tasks without human interaction. And also, AI performs tasks that normally requires human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, decision making, and translation between languages. Now, this is what AI encompasses about. Anywhere you see these things like visual perception, that's when I talk about visual perception, I'm talking about facial recognition systems that's able to see, that's its visual perceptions, and speech recognition, whereby it's able to identify what we say and also give us an output back, and decision making and translation between languages. Please, the next slide. Now, myths about artificial intelligence. There is a lot of myth about artificial intelligence, but I'll just be talking about the common ones that are in vogue. And the first one is AI is a fancy term for robots. That is not really true. It's not really a fancy because a robot is more of the hardware that carries the AI. That's where the AI is able to manifest. Just like our brains, without our body, our brains can't work. So that is how the two work. They work simultaneously. They work together. But AI is not robotics. Robotics, it's a different field. We can have someone that is good in building robots, but the robot might not be intelligent enough to do things. An example of robots that is intelligent, we know of Sophia, the, I don't know anybody that knows of Sophia, the humanoid robotics that is able to mimic the human intelligence. That's an example of how artificial intelligence and robots can work together. And we also have AI is self-sufficient. We are not there yet. We are not there yet. AI is not self-sufficient. AI is still zeros and ones. It's still zeros and ones, and maybe in the next decades we can get there with much research. And human jobs are at risk due to AI. This is not really true. They are not really at risk. It's just now, few years ago when robotics came in, they were shouting, robots will take people's job, robots will take people's job. But it's just to ease the way of life of people. It's to make things easier. AI is not here to take anybody's job. As is, yes, it might reduce the labor, but it is also bringing in more technical jobs and more high-end jobs that people can work on. And only large companies use AI. That is not true. Everybody use AI here, one way or the other. In your phones, in our phones here, AI is there, whereby we can talk to Siri or we can talk to Alexa. In different ways, we use AI in our day-to-day activities. It's just that we might not really know, but we use AI. It's not only the big companies that actually uses AI. And okay, AI can be 100% unbiased. Now, there's what we say in the industry: the quality of data you have determines the quality of outputs. I myself, the data represents you yourself because it is the person that actually handles the data, the cleaning, the pre-processing, is the person that that is what the output will give you. It is more of garbage in, garbage out. It is whatever you give to the model is able to learn from it and make its own predictions. So if the person handling the data is kind of biased, that means automatically our AI will biased. Let's take for example, and someone being biased might be unintentional at times. Amazon okay, I think a few years ago, Amazon, their recruitment assistant that helps them to recruit people. During the process, they found out that it was biased against females, whereby it was just anywhere it sees the terms female or anything related to female, it screens them out. And why? Because of the historical data set they've had, it processed it, and it was only males that do get jobs that time. So that is why it learnt itself and it was able to do something like that. So that's why um, we can say it is not 100% objective. So it is still liable to changes, and AI cannot be creative. AI is really amazing. Let's take, for example, we feed our AI model pictures, series of pictures, and we tell it that, okay, I want you to build a house for me. You won't be surprised that the kind of infrastructure it will build for you. In fact, even you yourself will be like, can I even do this? That recent, I think 22 years ago, when GAN, that's Generative Adversarial Network, came out, whereby it was able to make faces, faces that people don't even know, faces that we've never seen before, based on existing pictures that it learnt, and it reconstructed people's faces. And even when I was like, wow, this is really artistic. That is, AI can be creative when we have the right data sets. Please, the next slide. And the types of AI. You know, we have different kinds of, as we have types of machine learning, that's the supervised and the unsupervised learning. We also have types of AI, and which can be the reactive. And in this reactive, has no memory and are task specific. These are the ones that they don't have no they don't have any memory and they're task specific. Let's take a chess, an AI that knows how to play a chess. It learns from the pattern, but it does not have a memory to go back to. It is just for that particular time it works. And we also have limited memory, and this uses memory to learn and improve its response. Let's take, for example, self-driving car. It uses what it has in the database, it learns from it, and is able to autonomously drive itself, even without no supervision. That is how limited memory works. And we also have theory of mind, understands the need of other intelligent entities. And I know I said at the beginning that Sophia, the humanoid robot, she kind of mimics human emotions, whereby you yourself will be fooled that, wow, she has an emotion, but she does not really have emotion. It's just mimicking how the human emotions are. And this theory of mind, we are just getting there. We are still at the stage of limited memory. Theory of mind is the next evolution in artificial intelligence and self-awareness. This is where the films I've been watching, Terminator, whereby AI comes and terminates and kills everybody off the earth. This is where I think it comes in. We are not there yet. AI is not yet self-aware. It does not have self-awareness yet. It is still zeros and one, and it can't make decisions based by itself. It still needs human intervention. That is the stage we are. Human intervention. We might get there in some decades. We don't know. As the chart progresses, we will know how far and how soon. So now, how is AI used in agriculture? As an agrarian university, I'm sure we would want to know how AI is used in agriculture in order for us to be able to maximize this. So one is called precision farming, and this is the latest in town now, whereby we make use of data gotten from our farm in different sectors, and it's used to make decision that will help impact the farm. So that's how precision is makes used to make precise decisions that will help impact the farm positively. And we also have monitoring crop health. So it also helps us to monitor the crop health. If our crop is having a disease, or there's outbreak of disease, it helps us monitor it it makes us attend to it on time. And we also have pest control. This pest control is I think this is really rampant around this area, pests. So with AI, we can be able to control pests, but I'll still be going to the use cases of how we can use these things in real world examples. And we also have agricultural robotics. Now, these robotics help us in planting, harvesting, and so on like that. And we also have helps in for data analytics, that's Internet of Things, and providing image-based insights and managing environmental challenges. In managing environmental challenges, this is where we're able to predict the weather. Okay, when is it going to rain? How is it going to be? How is it going to be like in the next 2 months? So with this, we are able to make decisions on how we are able to plant ahead. So please, next slide. Now we've come to the use cases of artificial intelligence, of AI in agriculture. And what I mean by use cases, these use cases are the way we use AI in real world to solve real world specific problems. And the next slide. Now, as who says that if we have autonomous car, we can't have autonomous tractors. So this is an example of how AI is used in the farm, whereby we have John Deere AI self-driving tractor. Um, this improves the use and maximize and minimizes waste. And this system works by combining more advanced technology with off-the-shelf equipment such as sensors, radars, GPS, and the system allows an operator working on a combine to set the course of a driverless tractor pulling a grain cart, position the cart to receive the grain from the combine, and then sends the full load part to the unloaded. Now, as we can see, those two tractors, one is actually making the harvest and is also transferring it to the other tractor. So that is how, and you can see the proximity whereby it's able to use the GPS to to communicate with each other, and how that's how they'll be going. And they can go like that on and on and on. And the second slide. And we also have GIACS, that's the Gilful Intelligence Greenhouse Automation System. So we all know that, okay, I was at a training at NCAMP, that's along Ilorin Road, and they said that we can have a greenhouse that is up to 5 acres, 7, 8, 9 acres of land. So how are we able, how can we, now if we start putting much people inside our greenhouse, we have some people, people can actually bring in diseases and things inside the greenhouse. So we are able to, so they've brought up a solution that will minimize the amount of people entering the greenhouse. And this, the University of Griffith, of Guilford, has brought up an automation of some, mostly an automation, a robot that automates this for us. And it is an integrated robot system under the development of Gifu to automate some of the most labor-intensive greenhouse taxes. It includes vision system with multiple cameras, plant database, and tracks of all records and decision support system. And this is a smart robot with disease detection, plant monitoring, and labor-saving capabilities. It is the work of a greenhouse vegetable sector. So this helps us in a greenhouse, whereby it's able to detect diseases for us and monitor our plants in such a way that we will able to make decisions that will help us impact the farm, the greenhouse. This next slide. Now, why I really like the AI is because it is build once and deploy everywhere. You can build it once and you can deploy it in multiple hardwares, be it different hardwares. Just like example, okay, there was recent, I was building a chatbot, and um, when I finished the development on my development platform, I was able to deploy it on various platforms, be it Telegram, WhatsApp, different kinds of platforms. Just from one platform, you are able to deploy it in different places, and everything controlled from one place. That is just how good it is. Before you have to develop one for WhatsApp, develop specific, but no, you can just build it once and it's deployed everywhere. So this is an example of a drone-based imaging technology for monitoring. So as you can see, this other picture here, whereby we have the red dots. The drone scans the entire field, farm field, and it's and the drone goes back to the owner, and they take the record of the video it has already scanned, and they analyze it with an AI. The algorithm analyzes the captured images and provide a detailed report containing the current health of the farm, and it helps the farmer identify bacteria, and bacteria, and helping farmers to timely use pest control and other methods to take required action. This is just one of the use cases of we using drones to actually foster the use of artificial intelligence on our farmland. Next. This project you are seeing here, Plantosis, was developed by students of OAU, the AI club at OAU, and this Plantosis, and it won the best it's won the best paper at last year boot camp. It was the first prize. And what this AI tool does is it's an AI plant diagnostic tool at an home-based AI solution used to detect crop disease from leaves investigated. And as you can see, once it detects the disease from the crop, it tells you the necessary things to do in order to mitigate the effects of the disease. And next slide. Now we have Prospero, the swarm farm robot. I said something about agricultural robotics. This is how robotics can be used in the farm. And this Prospero is a working prototype. It's still under research. They're just like a social animal that they talk to each other, and they are used for planting, harvesting, and they are used for planting and harvesting, basically a prototype of an autonomous microplanter that uses a combination of swarm and game theory, and it is meant to be deployed as a group of autonomous robots that tends to the crop, harvest them, and finally, one robot can plant, tend, and harvest autonomously by itself. It's still under research, and well, maybe in some few years' time, it might become a production level work. So next. We also have the greenhouse climate controller with AI-based techniques. AI researchers created artificial intelligence systems and intelligence control methodologies for the analysis and synthesis of intelligent climate control. And the system uses neural network, that's artificial neural network, and fused logic controller for regulation of climate variables like temperature, humidity, in artificial conditioned greenhouse. So this, as you can see, I know we have a greenhouse farm in the research farm. If this can be used, an AI that actually controls the humidity and temperature of the greenhouse, it can go a long way in improving the crops, how our crops grow, and improve the yield that we get from our crops. Next slide. And we have the big man here, Mr. Cow. This guy has really done a number on our farmlands, but withstanding, they still have their own importance that they give to us, and which is their milk and milk we get from them. And we now have a facial recognition system for domestic cattle. And the reason why we need this is just to monitor them, and facial recognition system of a cow in dairy units can individually monitor all aspects of the behavior in a group, as well as body conditioning and feeding. The result of using this approach is that you can feed a cow for a lot less money if you know what they will and they will not eat. It's also possible to treat a lame cow before she displays signs of being lame, potentially saving months of diminished milk supply. As we can see, this is just the real world use cases of how artificial intelligence is being used in the industry. Now, as I said there's nothing without an advantage. It surely has a disadvantage. And these are the limitations. Let's just say there are limitations of artificial intelligence in agriculture. And one, it is expensive to invest in. We all know this is a really expensive technology to invest in, but withstanding, it is the result we are all looking for. That is just the thing. That's why you see that it is only the big companies that have enough money that actually invest heavily inside agriculture, so inside AI, and with that, we can see the effects. And it causes unemployment. Yes, it will cause unemployment because it will actually automate some processes whereby manual laborers might be needed. But once automation is inside, that means it has filled up that vacuum that the manual labor will be needed. It has filled it up. So, and it is vulnerable to cyber attack. There is nothing that is connected to the internet that is not vulnerable to cyber attack. So um, that is why cybersecurity is another field. As long as the internet there will surely be a cyber attack. So, and that is why it's also vulnerable to cyber attack. And if programmed to do something beneficial, but it develops a destructive method for achieving its goal, it can be dangerous. This is when being biased and unbiased comes in, how objective it is. Now, if you don't get it right from the start, there is a probability the AI model, it learns, and it's like a child. Now it's just like a child. If you didn't train a child up very well, and the child grows up, you find out that he might himself might try to get some other habits that you might not like. So it's just like a child growing up. So if you don't treat it very well right from the start, making the quality of your data very good, you might actually have problem in future. That is why they say most AI products don't make it to the market. Once they are able to pass this test, the unbiased test, they don't make it to the market. And AI and machine learning teaching is far away from predicting critical outcomes in agriculture purely through cognitive abilities of machine. AI is not yet there yet. We can't still place it to take major decisions for us. It's still more of like a co-pilot to us here for now. So AI is just like a co-pilot. So this is just a limitation. It can't make major decisions. We are still the one to make major decisions in the farm. Next slide. So in conclusion, artificial intelligence can feel these are the effects of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence can fill the current manpower shortage and change the face of agric by increasing efficiency, reducing production cost of vegetables and fruits, minimizing environmental impact, and harvesting more. Through the use of agriculture, AI, and cognitive technology, farms across the world are able to run more efficiently to produce fundamental staples of our daily lifestyle. With great power comes great responsibility. AI is here to stay. So let's all harness the power of AI so we don't get left out in the race ahead. So I don't know. I prepared a short demo. I don't know how we are able to just a demo to show you. We've been talking so we can all see for ourselves how this is done. So I don't know how the studio can. Okay, the system, right? You should show my out. Okay, okay. Please, am I connected to the internet? Is it connected to the internet? Okay, thank you. It's connected to the internet. So we'll be using now. Google has really been helping young people like us that we don't have enough money to purchase computational all these big machines. We don't have like the investment to invest in buying big machines. So they've been generous enough to create a platform for non-techie people that okay, if they even want to use AI, they are able to use AI, and we'll be using Google Teachable Machine. And what we'll be doing today is a tomato maturity classification model, whereby no, we can use it in various aspects to detect maybe the maturity of our fruits, whether it is ripe or unripe. So it helps us make decisions. And so, yes. So please, can you switch it back to the one? So this is Google Teachable Machine. This is the platform that helps us in training computers to recognize your own image, sounds, and poses. So this is just the functions that it does presently now. And let's get started. So we're working on image projects. So let's go there. So this is our first one, and we work with data sets. So I'm just import my data sets. Sorry. So what I'm doing presently is I'm trying to classify, we're trying to build a model that is able to predict in real time the maturity of a tomato, whether it is ripe, it is not ripe, or it is almost ripe. And so I'm trying to import, I've been able to, yes, I've been able to, I've been able to classify the ripe tomatoes in one aspect, the unripe and the almost ripe tomatoes. So let's try to import it. So this, I've imported the data sets, and so we go to the second class. So I'm trying to upload the almost ripe tomato. So as you can see, these are tomato data set that are almost ripe. And we add one more class. So call it. We call this unripe tomato. So let's upload our data set. I'm sorry. Sorry, delete plus. So it is uploading. So, and the process of now, we've actually classified our tomato into ripe tomatoes, almost ripe tomatoes, and unripe tomatoes. Now, we are now going to the process of training our model to be able to, detect if it is ripe, not ripe, or not. And that's where we now go to the process of train model. There's a lot of things going on underground for non-techie people, whereby we have the convolutional neural network and the artificial neural network working together in order to bring out a prediction. So I don't want to bore us with the boring. Let me just go to the main thing itself. So I will go to train model. So it has started training our model, and let's go to under the hood and let's see what is actually happening as it's training our model. So it should begin now. It has started training the model. As you can see, our accuracy and lost per our lost is actually less, and we can see here that it's 99. Our test set is 95% correct, and the accuracy is 99.9% correct. So, well, let's try. I have tomatoes here. have tomatoes here that we can use to see if it's going to work or not. So this is a ripe tomato. So we're able to see what is classifying as what is classifying it as a ripe tomato. So as you can see, it's classifying it as a ripe tomato. We can see it has classified it as a ripe tomato. And let's go to the well, my tomato is almost ripe. So let's go to okay. Okay, I think it's unable to classify this very well. Okay, it's unable to classify that very well. And let's go to. So this is almost ripe tomato. So do you know the reason why it was unable to classify this very well? Why? The major reason is that when I only trained it based on the data set I got from here, but I didn't train it based on my environment settings here. So that is why we might have issues. Whereby this is why in artificial intelligence, our data set needs to be guided very well. Whereby the atmospheric condition of people over there that actually provided the data set might be different from ours. So it is now left for us, the data scientists, to create a specific, to now create our data sets by ourselves. That is why you can see that it was unable to get this very well. So if I do it in such a way that I take this in this room environment, you will see that the prediction will come up very well. So let's try. Let me see if I can try to do something like that. So I will source for data sets. Okay, I think okay. So let me just show you one more, and for file. So this is my. So we'll go back, and this is my test set that it has not seen before, and I just pick one, and I open. So it's able to classify it as an unripe tomato. So yes. So I hope I've been able to, stir up the enthusiasm about AI, and I hope we go on a very good journey. Thank you very much.
A round of applause once again for that wonderful presentation. Thank you. Because of our time, we will quickly take the photo shoot now. Then after that, other program will follow. All right. Please, with the permission of the Vice Chancellor, please, if there is question, kindly signify. One, or you can write it and forward it. Okay, sir. Okay. Let me, by the permission of the Vice Chancellor, I want to invite Dr. and Professor Ibukunle for his question. Please, a round of applause.
Thank you very much. Very good presentation indeed. Please give him a round of applause again and make it very, very fat and thick. Thank you for giving us that. When he was sitting down, we have discussed. I would have bombarded him with questions, but he told me that the retraining will be coming, which I enjoin all of you, please, to come for the training. Very, very interesting. Thank you very much. So my question will not be much, only the areas of research which we are doing right now, and I want to talk about. One, in the area of how to detect different crops. The one we did was only for one crop. Is it possible to different crops detection of the disease crops. You understand me? For example, is tomato. Can we detect different crops? You understand? Maybe another crop there apart from being tomato. So that is a challenge from that research aspect. So I want you to then, how do you deploy your drones in different platforms? You said you can take it from your saying that it can be done on different platforms. In what way? Because the drone we're doing now, we're only stationed on one particular platform. So how can we deploy it in different platforms? And the last but not the least, we are talking of a greenhouse temperature, humidity, environment using artificial neural network and Fuji logic. Luckily, I've asked you that you didn't explain this and this and that, which you told me that during your presentation or training, you're going to do that. But briefly, let us speak to that a little. How can you bring in artificial neural network that with Fuji logic together to perform that humidity test in a greenhouse environment? Thank you very much.
All right, please, you can come for your question.
Okay, good morning. My name is Ekomobong, and my question is, what are under the category of unemployment, what are the initiatives that can be taken for farmers? Okay, it's now we're moving towards the technological age. What are the initiatives for farmers to be able to learn the new advancing technologies? Because that also can solve unemployment, because they get to learn, and at the same time you get to test whatever artificial intelligence you want to test on their farms. So it's a win-win on both sides. So what are the steps that would be needed to carry that out? Thank you.
Suggestion, comments are also welcome. Only one more. Okay. The question says, good day, sir. Your slide on limitation is contradicting the slide on AI minds. I will need more clarification on that. For example, you said human job is not at risk earlier in the presentation, and then you later went further to say that a limitation is it causes unemployment. I think the question has he really answered the question. But when you get to the practical class, we have time to discuss more on that. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. My question is, okay, my name is Oluwadamlola Oyiwale, and my question is, I'm interested in pursuing machine learning as a career, I guess. Is there any way, like any course or any portfolio that I could like learn it, like a tailored course that would enable me to learn? Because I can go online and just watch tutorials upon tutorials, but if I don't have like a structured guide, I'll just keep going in circles.
Thank you, everybody. Please kindly permit me, son, to welcome Dr. Asani for the announcement.
I guess we have to take response from the presenter first, then the announcement. Let's welcome the presenter once again.
Thank you very much. So I'll be taking it from the simplest ones. So work up the hierarchy. Okay. The last person said, how can he advance his career in data science or machine learning, if I'm not wrong. Is that what you mean? Now, even okay, let's 2018, 2019, I did not even know anything like data science Nigeria, or like they even had an organization like that. But around 2019, when I got to know how that we have data science Nigeria that is present in Nigeria, I was happy because I felt that we already have a community that actually caters for the upcoming young scientists in the field of data science. Now, there are two, is in two ways. Is either you become a self-taught person or you learn through your finances. That's by taking a lot of courses on Udemy, Coursera, because in the industry level, to be sincere, you can go to someone's LinkedIn page and you might see up to 5 or 7 Coursera courses, certification courses, and you look at your own page and be like, God, when will I get there? Because in the industry level, there's this kind of significance they give to certifications once you have what we can get in data science, in the field of data science. So we can actually work on getting certification courses, but that's not still withstanding. Everything still boils down to personal learning. You have to sit down with those tutorials and learn. And in terms of the structure, that is why it is very good for you to join a community. It is in the community you are able to meet people and you are able to brainstorm and you are able to find what works for you best. And that is where you start working towards. Okay, now you said you want to study machine learning. Now we have machine learning for people for we have NLP in machine learning. Do you want to go to the field of NLP, that's natural language processing, or you want to go to the field of making visualizations, different areas? So you have to, if they are very good in coding, you might say I want to do artificial intelligence where I make use of facial recognition, speech recognition, and translations. You can actually do all those ones. Also, you have to find what you feel, what you are comfortable with and your own strengths, so you'll be able to excel from others. So I hope that answers the question. So, and so someone talked about steps needed for farmers to train. Like, how is that what you mean? That how can farmers come up, like, know more about AI? Now, I would say that is a very, very gray area in this part of the world. It's a very gray area in this part because of it's still evolving. Now, artificial now 20 artificial intelligence started growing popularity from 2015, 14. And that is when people outside Nigeria, they've been harnessing the power of artificial intelligence. I can say that we just started here in Nigeria. It will take time. It will take time for it to actually keep on growing. And as per farmers, that is why we are raising young AI talents now. That is one of the missions of Data Science Nigeria, to raise 1 million AI talents. If we are able to raise 1 million AI talents, training people, it's more of generation by generation. So it is now our generation that will carry that legacy that talent that we've already trained. But now, as per now, we can still now. But if we are talking about immediate solution, there is still something government. If the government of Nigeria is willing to actually invest in training farmers that are present now, it will go a long way. So if the government can actually, because I know of the government of India, they pumped money into artificial intelligence, and today, Indian is the go-to market if you are looking for AI developers. You can go anywhere. They are the go-to people. We have the largest startups, they are from Indians. So if the government can actually put in more on that, and how to detect artificial intelligence in different plants, for different crops, that is where a database comes in. If we are able to get a database to put in different crop image. Now we have ImageNet. There's what we call ImageNet, and there's a paper on that. It is a repository of images, different images from from every hooks and corner of life is stored there, or about 100 and something million or billion images are there. So, and this is how they this is how they bring out things in that, whereby the various crops that we need, we can actually put them in our databases. And okay. Yeah.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for him once again. The Vice Chancellor, sir, we thank you for your time, for starting with us and staying to the very end. We thank the Dean CPAS, Director Lucridge, and every other professorate and people present. Thank you for the time. Very quickly, we'll be taking the photo shoot. Then after now, we all move down to the simulation and software laboratory to continue this event. A round of applause again. Yes, to continue with hands-on. What we have had today is just a teaser. When we get there, we'll go deeper. Okay. 200. Please, it's just for 200 level and 400 level. Class reps, student reps, NACOS executives, please come forward. Make it snappy, please. Leaders of tech community in the university, Microsoft, Google, Ingressive, please come forward. Okay. Please, let's take the university anthem in closing. Invite Dr. Hey Baje for the closing prayer.
Before I take the closing prayer, I just want to congratulate the organizers of this program. I know the faculty of the Department of Computer Science are very proud of this program, but I think I'm doubly proud because the presenter for today was my student from the Better by Far University. So, Mr. Balobasi, thank you very much for making us proud. We are very grateful for that performance. Let us take the closing prayer. Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for this moment because you have made it a day and we are glad in it. Father, that which we have learned today, we pray that you bless it for us so that we'll be able to produce solutions, AI solutions that will solve our local problem here in this university and in Nigeria and also in Africa at large in Jesus' name. Accept our thanks in Jesus' name. In Jesus' name I've prayed. Thank you. Surely, let's take the goodness together. Goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives, and we shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Praise the Lord.
Hello, guys. Can we please, we're scanning out, so please, in orderly fashion, please, because we are going to be scanning out. Okay. Can we please sit down? Please have your seat, please.